Hello viewers, welcome to Fort Nagaland News. Apne jo hodai Nagala opoda ame na Naga society opoda alag alag khobor lui nai thake nisna ajiba aine thake to yete ame on sir GB Kahuto. Tai na sir, thank you so much. Aro ekbar mohon ahe karne.
Most welcome.
Aro time dia karne. Maybe sir, you might be knowing aji topic to ki asukle explain nukorni jai jobo. Icha mohon 2 din 3 din bra itu police recruitment laga post ula bisida society te mohon laga inega झमेला बेसी चले छै सिंस खाली नागा इंडिजिनस के धालु kwa para tate bra counter ekjoni juni ngona ahe ase to itu sob laga upor sir apni interview sen thako mang korne thake
han to size
views
detail dun hoy
different types of different alag alag part
hoy bishi bhal kam kore
to itu sob saina apna bhavna ki ase itu start nukra ki dis basu ko
hase bole man ase na storm in the teacup na making mountains out of molehills ko na it was are sida kote jabi na aru tari clarify kori na mo ngani ti kotha kora bra na eti nole comment section de jagara kora ba eku resolve kori bili bi noido na go to court find the facts na how eti confuse kora we are confusing ethnicity na indigenity or land ownership itu tinta confused kore so these are completely separate things they are connected but they are separate na to itu kotha itu es do
so sir apni cha ethnicity inga koya to tare ethnicity la to apni ame galo explain koro to itu la topic opor de regarding the recruitment
so ethnically moi do sumi na in particular but part of the larger group of Naga so itu nisna Nagas of Nagaland na we are ethnically different tribes but part of the Naga group Nagas of Manipur also na they are different tribes but they are also part of the Naga ethnic group na Myanmar Arunachal itu esu that is ethnicity na itu moila moi Nagamese Hindi dikina ko boho zakto but ethnic group na say Assamese countries na but of course Nagas too more diverse na but things like that na so that is ethnicity na itu is itu bujibi
so itu topic ta do ana laga itu recruitment opor do
nai rone was na to we have to explain itu background explain na pura tak na jagara kuri thai bole ase na buji bole ase aro ki misa ko de this could be they don't know on what grounds to approach the court na so indigenity means na being native to a certain place na so itu geographical area is na to Naga hills ko ase kotha that's a geographical area holy bit that political entity ho jaise to alag na Manipur olaise Nagaland olaise Arunachal olaise to then Myanmar olaise to na buje that those are political entities na so I may be an indigenous to the Naga hills but I am not indigenous to the political entity of Manipur now I am not indigenous to the political entity of Arunachal I am not indigenous to the political entity of Myanmar I am indigenous to the political entity of India, but I am not indigenous to the geographical entity of Assam. Itu bujible lage do na. So likewise, Dimapur na ki fuki thai lebi na it is not indigenous Nagaland. It is part of the political entity of the state of Nagaland. It comes under the government of Nagaland. So now the question of ownership does not arise. Now ownership too, whole world decided. All the land except where the government makes exceptions. All the land belongs to the government. Apni private mati thagile bhi itu at the mercy of the government. Government par lobo gole loi dibo. Hari Bihar di koila ula khan na to pura Indira Gandhi pura nationalize kori di na Bank can be nationalized. So whether it is land or your assets or anything, government has the right to nationalize. Air India to poila Tata la thai private. So government of India para nationalize of course again it has to wapas diise na. So things like that, no. Itu Naga manu itu na buji ho. The government has ultimate power. Article 371A DB koi kin aisu do. Now we have the right to customs, traditions, laws, unless the Nagaland State Assembly passes resolution. To Nagaland State Assembly pa itu sok boleh dibawa pariwo. Nah itu buji the power of a government, the function of a government. So Dimapur de, it is part of the state of Nagaland. But when I say it does not belong to the Nagas, kon la forefather pra iti bohiya is na tati pahadi na forefathers kan boha ahanis na puna forefather pra bohiya is koi bhi na first. Ito basically ownership la kotha ulam. All ownership in Dimapur, like moi Dimapur Guadan di itu Chungu beside and Palan lagi berana and Newland quasi. Newland is disputed areas itu as I'm not dispute na. Boleh bi decide to government la pata boleh ni es lo. Bosti boleh bi government la pata es lo. So what does it mean? It means that the government has given you permission to settle here. Nah. So it does not belong to you. Government gave it to you. Nah itu buci bi. So that is ownership. So that ownership is a different question. Now we're talking about indigeneity.
Yeah.
Nah.
Itu topik
Indigenous. Nah. So what is an indigenous person or a plant or an animal? Nah. Mo itu po mo la first mo public ti na olo ula to itu indigenous kotha praise. Mo article ekta likhise. Indigeneity ko ina. So indigeneity means that you were there before others. Nah, manu like it.
kun binat
Khaten di. Nah, aru dosa manu ahaten bi apni thagi su itu ni indigenous na. British Canberra, New Australia di jadam di Aborigine kan thagi su to they indigenous. New Zealand di jadam di Maori kan thagi su they indigenous. But later on now it do Maori kan bi than like it ekta thagi su so it on pura murai di na. So that is what we mean by indigeneity. Nah. So now Nagaland geographical area di. Nah, the state of Nagaland, the political entity that is indigenous ala kaisi. Now, bhag kuri jaile, I'm indigenous to the state of Nagaland, but I'm not indigenous to the district of Kohima or Mogoksung, Tengsang. Nah, I'm indigenous to Znaboto because I was there first. But even in Znaboto, tari bosti ala kaisi. So if you're going to subdivide, indigenous to last bosti dia itu. So government of Nagaland to poiler try to recognize kori na itu Dimapur area di. The first early settlers don't consider kori so. Now Dimapur area got them parent district was there. Poiler all this was under Kohima district. Now so tan clearly na Karbi na Mikir na itaru Karbi ko here poiler Mikir ko ita na Mikir Garo na Kachari Kuki itu charta dali so. Nah, or tati they have given conditions. Ajikala government is not huido. Itu ando na ignorance kan yes we. Pora tu pura likha moi puri di bode. Na 1970 na 1967 bra pass kuri na up to 1983 tak na aro moi itu 2003 di reopera ulta bulda kori je libi 1967 de. The undersigned is directed to refer on the above reservation of vacancies for scheduled tribes in Nagaland. The undersigned is directed to refer on the above subject and to state that the scheduled tribes of Nagaland comprise more than 95% of the population of the state. But taking into consideration the few non-scheduled tribes in Nagaland, taking into consideration, the government has decided to reserve 80% of the vacancies in Nagaland State Service, which are to be filled by direct recruitment from the scheduled tribes the state. That means 20% to those are limit rakhi dibo lagib. Non-ST limit. Anyway, let's continue. Under 1967 la under the government order agiti moi pura to dated 26 June 1969 sorry, I made a mistake. First moi pura to 67 69 din or it to 72 lies day. The provision for reservation of 80% of all appointees or posts under the government of Nagaland has been made for the candidates belonging to 1 any Naga tribe. First 2 Kuki, 3 Kachari, 4 Garo, and 5 Mikir. So that is the 1972. Tadi tan detail dia ageti scheduled tribe ko is the ST 80% na. To kya do na. So aru thai de 73 di bitu kule je holi bi aru 83 ti aru clarification na. The undersigned is directed to say the government through an order first pura 1967 la and 1973 la had reserved 100% for direct appointment to non-technical grade 3 and 4. They 100% appointment and 80% of all gazetted and technical posts for the persons belonging to the following tribes. Okay, first police constable to grade 3 hobo na ki hobo? Grade 3 hoile 100% reservation, 80% to narakhibo de to samanu ni 100% reservation. But again clarification any Naga tribe Kuki, Kachare, Garo, Mikir so these are the ones who are eligible for the 100% takwe de aro tati aro condition de ase provided any Naga tribes, Kuki, Kachari, Garo, Mikir, provided such persons are indigenous inhabitants of the state of Nagaland. Okay, the above 5 tribes must possess, in addition, one of the following qualifications in order to become an indigenous inhabitant for the purpose of employment. Number 1, her name or parents or legitimate guardians should be entered in the electoral roll published 5/12/1963. Okay, first condition. Second condition, the person or her parents or guardians should be paying house tax prior to 1963. Statehood day, 1/12/1963. Or the person or her parents or legitimate guardian should have acquired property and pata on it prior to 12/1/63. There are Naga, Kuki, Kachari, Garo, Mikir living outside the geographical boundary of Nagaland without possessing any of the above 3 qualifications. Naga hoili bi itu kan naik hoili do except no hoili. Mai agi de kwa. So they are not eligible for employment under the state. On the other hand, they are eligible for employment provided they are permanent resident in the state and possess one of the qualifications. Itu tinta. Mana itu kwa tu Naga hoili bi. Those who have one of these 3, meaning from Manipur, Arunachal, Myanmar, if they have one of these 3 documents, employment eligible as well. So, it is clear as well. What is the confusion? It all boils down. Kung ke vote this it kan ke kubin. Kuki hoilibi, Kachare hoilibi, Garo hoilibi, mikir ni man nai. Abyan la MLA ko nai so. It kan ke kubina. Noile poisa phalai kena court te fight koribi. Documents are there clearly. Iti mo kan majudi iniya confusion create koribole Hoile bi aro 78 la mo itu kiba kurang de hoile bi itu 1978 ti ek taw lagi na sin notification. Itu 80% 100% do ini grade 3 4 day to 3 80% gazetted post kan 80% for indigenous inhabitants fill up kuribo para nai koile vacant rakhibo
আচ্ছা
না until such time one itu lobo paribo na holibi itu reover 2003 na 2003 na 10 ki ta itu kati disi aru fill up kuro para nai gole kun holibi lobo paribo na to india mano khani interest nai do noile daga nahi na na pura loe lobo do to itu nisna na mogan la leader khani ni asu ki kuri dibo itiabi jhamela ulai dio tham ra ulai asu do kan nijo brapoila rules na regulation ki aje sob overturn kuri na na kun ke please kuri aje moina bujhe dibo
only naga kuina su do indigenous naga only naga
no only naga to they are saying that only the 16 tribes is nagaland asu they so only that na or any naga who has possession kobola of the three documents na I mean nam thaka to romai kan 1963 ko hema or demodi settle kura kan itu kan na or kunba mati loina thaikle ige na nule kunba 63 age itu kan or legitimate na itu poila bai established village kan na kachare la holibi kuki la holibi na garo la holibi itu kan gitu na debo ko
so itu nediwo ko
they cannot do that
itu
because they have to make a law kanun banabi na
ene ku kanun mi na thakini
ini itu just na so they have to have a cabinet meeting and pass at least a notification na next session to pass koribo ita limit 6 months limit valid thakibo
so sir pass korishu bulibe
pass challenge koribo paribo na even every law is subject to judicial challenge judicial scrutiny na to tagan kurijo golibi na pura assembly session boigina pass kurijo golibi they can still challenge na why are they being deprived it was to iti mana po la history la na ahom khan bra higena na itu kongkor kurigena na itu jaile dum makan na itu ro kitabi khodum na just facts iti dimawadi bha khan do kun la marzi bra boys na kota itu thaikha na check ye tilkhan assam government bra dizu na aru tadi apni na bosikan itu british government bra dizu so all at the mercy of the government and after that 1960 pura state government na Nagaland state government to times change na pola zamana ala kaise ajikali zamana ala kaise kanun bi to separate change kore do all of the nagidi one young lady na tai tala thesis nimidi itu lo kotha kore de customary law kan na are criminal law to it is irrelevant these days na naga customary criminal law kan ko na kini nimidi zamana bidlo si do so itu nisna poila to government employment thai je ar akobo gole just 1000 jobs as da ini say 1000 na round number ko itu nimiti naga manu kiman pa bole as ko ina na kile india confusion create kore as government that's not good ek takam bina ek bhal kam kore je gona nai do manu bro koi apni do muk piya kile khuda criticism bhal poisa bina government bro kora power taka kan bra kam bhal kora ekta example dibi do nai do aru mudu manu multiple ai aji morning bi aisu do rape case lai bi manu hoje bole boina so every day manu ai thai and always na blatant injustice lai do tone mo hutai mud biadi thai do ekta rasta ko bole mudu ini na maiki bacha khan lo to khushi pra thai na but when india discuss kole na mo ini trigger ho jai do because always na na jane no kura bi noi ho jane no kuri ho aru ta khan do itu communist party pra na collective leadership koi do im khan pra collective leadership koi do itu to beshi bhal chala kaise responsibility no lo muni mi de na kiba ekta galti kam kore ba mon collective leadership pra kori jo na iku kore na pare na so ini hoisu do kun ke charge koribo kun ke challenge koribo na every issue court jabo lage na হলে বি যাব লাগে তো কেতিয়াবা একবাৰ না লেসন শিকাব লাগে
এইটো বেছি ডিপ যাই থাকিলে মাথা ঘূৰাই আপুনি কি এক্সপ্লেইন কৰি আছে এক্সপ্লেইন কৰি দিছে আৰু শুনি শুনি ময়ো মাথা ঘূৰাই আছোঁ আৰু পিছে হ'লেবি ইচ্ছা মান এইটো ইছ্যু ওপৰত এইটো লাষ্ট সুধিও মই একবাৰ আপোনাৰ মেছেজ হ'লেবি ইচ্ছা মান মান বি কমেণ্ট ছেকশ্যন চাই নাই আছে
আচ্ছা
তো মুন্দুক বি হৈ যায় দে
আচ্ছা কি আছে
চাই থাকিলে না
কিনে
এনে হাৱালা পাগলালা কমেণ্টছো দিয়ে না এইখন চাইনে অলপ আৰে অলপ বুজিলেও ভাল আছে মানুহ দেখা আছে এইটো অলপ
নাই নাই
দিগদাৰ হৈছে কি কি হিচাপে কি গাইছিলে ভাল হ'ব আছে
কেতিয়াবা নহ'ব না এইটো দুনিয়াতে না বুজিবি 90% মানুহটো ফ'ল' হৈ আছে না টানলা ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট ক্ৰিটিকেল থিংকিং নাই দে না তো এইটো 10% পৰা কি কয় এইটোৱে শুনে না তো 10% দি কোনোবা না মেজৰিটিটো নিজৰ লাভ নিমিত্তে কৰি আছিলোঁ একটা দুইটা মাইনৰিটি খান প্ৰায় কমন গুড নিমিত্তে কৰি আছিলোঁ তো ভাল কৰা বলাই সি মাইনৰিটি হৈ যায় না এতিয়া তাক মই ডেম'ক্ৰেচি মিনিং নাজানে তো ইট ইজ ডেম'ক্ৰেচি নট ম'বক্ৰেচি ম'প্ৰা ডিচাইড কৰা নোৱাৰিব না ডেম'ক্ৰেচি মিনছ electing the leaders who will look after all sections of the society na mon aji tak na mon attitude to cm do rio angami mano sok na is na da itu attitude is to ignorance na and they are not willing to learn what it is they to aro kuribi na government hole kunbar ba challenge korise moi ta bara predict korise kunbar challenge korise etu pura cancel koribo selection kora kan sob এটা 957 কিমান সাল পাছলি তা গভর্নমেন্ট উপায় নাই সুপ্রিম কোর্টে যাইছে তো এটা সেম হবে
হৈ যালিবি তা
হৈ যালিবি না সো ইট ইজ বেটার না গভর্নমেন্ট এটা পৰা বুজি না ইট ইজ বেটার টু চেঞ্জ দ্যাট না কিমান পাবো হো 1000 কিমান আছে 1000 দি তাদি কাছারে কিমান ওলাব না গাৰো কিমান ওলাব না কুকি কিমান ওলাব কাৰ্বি তো একটা বিন ওলাব লাগি মানুহ নাই তো
আর নেপালি তাতে নাই খবর
ওই টাকা নাই only be Nepali can be they eligible na because they have the thing na who have settled here before na so itu nisna na kiman ulabo why are we so kota moi sure ulabole thaki na na kachare ekta par loise gole moi bi fight koribo taige na eli moi bi sure ulabol na jane taka ni kiman ulabol na jane aro itu no agi di mon jagara korat na it is so childish na society ku improve korobol nai enmity create kore so itu oni government do itu na reconsider koribo lai
like you said select হৈ যালিবি 10 years পিছতো চ্যালেঞ্জ কৰিছে
হয় তো
সব কি আৰু
হয়
ওলাই দিব তো সেম হৈছে
it's high time government do itu bujibole kiman bar na kiman rasta di challenge kore ase sabi itu RMS teacher kan bi na
itu police constable lagi same
constable aru eta do hindi teacher kan bi koribo goi ase na so na manu ekjon dujon effect kora do itu eku korobo na pare na in a sense only manu bishi effect gole do ahi jai do na to itu bujibo lai na aji itu Mr. Ransom Lunglen na tai online pra discuss koribo goi itu issue na so but itu English to koribo na so let's see na dari government authority kan bi na Nagami channel bi na English channel bi kinmi tadi joel bi mati gena joi jata na so let's see what the discussion brings only with ado moila my request ikobo na to the authorities is reconsider na kinmi di aji bhal parise koi na future de jhamela na sob la 1100 kiman la bi na to tahan kiman ulabo ho 1020 na atare 1020 ti tan ke dhyan ai koi ne ti guarantee kun ulabo koi na kile mone why are we making such a big issue of it yes
to sir thank you so much
most welcome
আমি হলে টাইম দেয়া
আপনি আমিয়া sacrifice করে নিয়া আবি না
itu apna bhavna bishi janam jeta actually mas stakeholders kun asi to handa jene duita party lo hodine ne one apni inga time deane bishi thanks ase
bishi bal moi bishi খুশি পাইছে আপনি না itu আৰু এনে কোৱা নিচিনা এইটো if they are willing to speak na indigenous sorry এইটো কাছাৰী গাৰো
They're willing to.
the interview কৰিবি ভাল হৈছে
So thank you sir আৰু thank you so much সদায় মহাকে টাইম দি থাকাৰ কাৰণে আৰু আশা আছে কৈ থাকে নিচিনা আগে টাইম যে আপুনি নিকা গুণে চাই থাকক
thank you
তো ভিউয়ার্স কই দিয়া নিচিনা ইয়াতে সৰলা ভাৱনা কি আছে বেছি মানুহ কৈ দিছে জীৱিকাও তো হদিবি তাতে ফাইনাল হ'ব এনেকা কমেন্টস মান দেখি দিছে তো সৰলা কৈ দিয়া নিচিনা সৰলা ভাৱনা কি আছে তাইটো জানাই দিছে এনেকা কাৰণে সদায় কৈ থাকে নিচিনা কি লবলৈ আছে লুই আৰু কি নলব দ্যাট ইজ আপ টু ইউ টু ডিসাইড কৰা নিচিনা আজি বিটো কথা কৈ নাই এইটো ইন্টাৰভিউটো খতম কৰা আছে জানাই দি আছে তো এনেকা খবৰ আৰু আলাক আলাক খবৰ কাৰণে আপোনাৰ চাই থাকি ফৰ নাগালেণ্ড নিউজ মই আৰু মচুমি ফৰ এফএন